Welcome to Caddie Quick Clips, the quick guide to successful drawing and modelling with Caddie. In this exercise, we're going to take a look at how the stretch tool within Caddie's transformations can be used to modify elevations, for instance. But before we get involved with that, let's take a look at the basics to make sure we understand how the command works. So, moving across to a very simple little illustration, we find we have a series of lines. And the important thing here is that at the ends of the lines we have the nodes where which define the end of the lines. So in the Caddie application, the main Caddie application, transformations, we'll see that we have the stretch and the quick stretch. The quick stretch is simply a tool that takes on board your favorite settings from the stretch tool. So we set to whatever we want in here and then just save to the quick button, which saves those pet settings on there, allowing us to use them without the reselection. But taking a look at what we have here, we'll see we have a major selection set. So are we going to affect the whole drawing, so scope here, or just objects we've selected or marked, or maybe a rectangle within the drawing. So we could define a rectangle to eliminate affecting any of the other objects within our drawing. Or a polygon. If we're using a polygon here as in the indicate side, we need to just finish the polygon off with a right click and an option end. Or we can choose groups as the patterns here, or single objects. Choosing scope, we're set to rectangle and also the drag stretch entities. So if we select a rectangle around there, we'll see that we've included the 4 nodes there, and when we pick up those 4 nodes, you notice that they all stay relative to each other, so just changing to freehand snap there, so their position stays relative to the 4 nodes that have been selected. It just changes relative to everything else within the drawing. Quick undo there. This time if we select a couple of objects, or maybe the 4 there, we'll do our stretch, choose selected, do a similar thing. This time we only pick up the nodes within the group that have been selected. Undo that. We also have, as we look here, we have a pattern, so a quick double select on there. Now we'll just escape from that. If we choose pattern and maybe polygon, we can pick a single pattern, but then we could choose just some nodes, right click, option end, and you'll see that will take just those particular nodes from within our chosen selected pattern. Right, moving back to the practical applications. Here we see that we have an elevation, and in there we have objects. So these are not blocks, they are grouped as patterns, but not as blocks. And I'll zoom in on here, and then we'll use the stretch option. Again, we're selected to pattern. We could choose rectangle. To do is indicate the pattern. Then we drag around it. In fact, if I make it a larger selection box, this will highlight the fact that it only takes the objects within that particular selection set. We're using relative coordinates here, so having picked the first move point, I could type in 300 and then use the vertical down arrow in the collection of 4 arrow tools, and that will move me to, or move the points to the new position. If I'd chosen scope, I could have drawn a rectangle around all of them and then done the 300 and done that vertically, moved vertically down. We could do the same thing again and then just choose our node and move it to the center of the window. If we have objects in blocks, so here the rainwater pipes and the windows are in blocks, what we need to do is edit first of all into the block. So I'll just press escape. I'll select the block itself, right click, and then we'll edit that block. Now we can use the stretch tool. We can take our points 300 mil down. We could use the stretch tool once again and do exactly as we did before, but this time, because these are all identical blocks, if we end edit block, you'll see that all 3 update. And of course the same thing can be done with rainwater pipes here, and if need be we can use the construction lines to give us points to snap to, or use the snap tools there. But if we select our block, right click, edit block, and then use the transformation tools to stretch vertically down, delete the construction lines because we don't want that incorporated within our block. But if we move across here, right click, end edit block, you'll see that both will stretch down because they are the same identical block. So there's a quick illustration of how we can use the stretch tool within Caddie to affect changes on our drawings, be it plan or elevation. For more information on Caddie, go to www.caddiesoftware.com.